if it loads. You can use a star as a weld character, so where state equals, or sorry, like as a matching character for that. So you want to do where this field is like that, you can use, sorry, %sign as a weld character. I'm getting a little confused here, forgive me. Where state is like this, starting with the letter A and then anything after it. PHP MyAdmin is very picky about how you're typing things in. I'm using the wrong character set. Going too fast. And this computer is not set up to use the character set that we use in the database. I was trying to avoid the stuff and should have set this up earlier. Sorry. Go ahead.
Why did it says Latin 1_3? Is that other type of language you were
There we
reading?
go. We selected all states to start with A. PHP MyAdmin, on our servers, we use Latin 1 Swedish CI. It's a character set for typing in characters for like accented letters and so on. When I start typing by default on this computer, was defaulting to UTF, I had to switch the character set. I was hoping not to get into complicated things like that, but here we go. There's always something in PHP. So we're at 9 o'clock, so I want to go as quick as I can to the rest. We have a few minutes?
Yes.
10 minutes? Anybody need to go? Go ahead if you do. Let's quickly, so we went over select statements. If you want to insert a new record in there, insert into, what's the syntax for that? Table name. In parentheses, you list the fields that you want to write to, so let's just create a field just for one business name. So let's do business name and contact name. Right? And then the values that you want to write to those fields in the same order are Wikipedia and Scott. There is an insert query in its entirety. You have as many fields as you want to write to, and then in values in the same order those fields. And if it's easier to put these on multiple lines, you can do that. It's not going to break anything. If that's easier for you to read, go ahead. So now we've just run an insert statement, everything was successful. And we have a new record in here that matches those fields. The rest are all just blank fields. They don't have any information in them, and it automatically, in this case, the ID field is set up to auto-increment, so it's going to give the next available number after the previous one. Because again, every one of your IDs should be unique in the table. You can't have two IDs that are the same thing.
That'd be good for text input fields like forms and stuff.
Mm-hmm.
And if you're doing that, should you create a new table for that, or
depends
your
on which
database?
one. I mean, the tables are sets of information, so it depends if you want to sort what kind of information you can. If you want to create a backup of your information as it was stored at one point in time, you can just copy the table with this operations tab. Copy table to blog backup, and then start writing to the old one. It depends on what is appropriate for what it is that you're trying to do. If you want to change an existing record, the syntax is update, table name, set field equals something. So let's say set contact name equals Scott Hardy, where contact name equals Scott. If I did not set where contact name equals Scott, it would just run this part in white, and it would set every single record with a contact name of Scott Hardy. You want to be very careful not to do that.
Yeah, I was going to say, is there an undo? Oh no.
Yeah. So be very careful with this sort of thing. If you're going to do any kind of mass scale editing of your database like this, like update every field or update any kind of thing directly like this, just save a backup to your desktop. You can run export and save a copy of the database to your computer, and then re-import it.
Depending on its size, right?
Now, what you're doing there, the running that you're doing there, that's just for testing. That's not actually doing it, right?
No, it's actually doing it.
It is actually doing it. Okay.
Anything you type in here is the same thing as you would run in your script.
Okay. I thought it was just like a test field. But
So who's the first person to erase all the VF hotel names?
Oh, I think everybody's done it sooner or later.
With that, it's 7 Up.
Here at Mouse Media, we have daily backups, so if there's an emergency like that, we had once Visit for it, its entire database was wiped out. Marlin can call up Rackspace and get the database restored, but it takes a few hours. And so Visit Forti's site was not really operating for a couple of hours back in 2004, maybe.
That was not a good day.
No, that was a bad day. But once it was done, I mean, it was just waiting for Rackspace to do it. the last kind of statement that you're going to run is delete, and that's just delete from database name where something equals something.
So is Rackspace, is that our host?
Yes, they are the company that we use to host our servers. They're really, I would recommend them, but they're thousands of dollars. They're an enterprise level server company for something like Miles Media. Just you and I using this wouldn't need it. You're going to delete from the database where this information matches this information. If you just want to delete everything, just type delete from database name and you can do that.
We're going to delete Rick too.
If his business name is also Miles Media. PHP My Admin is very careful about this. It will ask you, are you sure? No, Rick has to be typed in with a, he missed the space. But it deleted,
you got rid of Sue.
but it deleted my record and it deleted Sue's record out of this.
Yeah.
So that's really the syntax for this. As I mentioned, the select, insert, update, and delete are all basically the same. You can use where in them in certain fields like that, but each one is slightly different. That's it. You run this, you run a query to the database. So if you have a user create an information, or submit a form, you have a feedback form, user types their information in, you have two arrays that your form information is saved in. Here you have the post array and the get array. When a form is submitted, it usually uses post. You have a post array like this. The field's in there, so if you have field first name in your form, you can refer to post first name.
Is that the same thing as echo, sort of?
Sort of. In this case, if I were to type echo $post. My point in saying this is if you want to take that information from the post array that the user has submitted in the form, and you want to save it to the database, we run query, insert into feedback, parenthesis, first name, values, and this first name value. And that's how it gets submitted to the database. The get array is up here on the page address. That's whatever the values are up there. So if I were to echo the get array on this page, stop after this line. It has an array of whatever values are passed up here. So get and post are very important for manipulating that information, receiving that information. Trying to think if there's anything else. I know we're trying to wrap up here quickly. But that's everything you need for PHP, and that's all of the basics. Obviously, there's a lot of individual syntax, so I'll send around some links. I'll send you these scripts. But this should be everything you need. Ask me any questions anytime for more detailed information. I'm happy to help.
Cool.
I don't think there will be a third class.
Thank you.
Yeah, are there any sites with like problem examples, like you need a script that'll do this, so then you can figure out how to do it?
Somewhat. You can usually Google for PHP something or what it is you're looking for, and find.
Oh no, I didn't mean like that had the answer. I meant that like you could try to figure out yourself. Because wouldn't that be the only way you could learn how to do this? Is like by figuring out how to make
things, yeah.
problems.
All kinds of weird things, like the character set thing in PHP My Admin. Why isn't that one space working? You find those are the kinds of errors you find all the time, because the little typos in line, that you fix those instantly. It's the ones that take longer that you learn all kinds of new things about server configuration and just odd things like that break your things, break your scripts, and that's where you really learn.
The hard way.
Yeah. Any other questions?
Thank
No,
you.
thank you.
Thanks, Scott.
Thank you, Scott. I do my database this weekend.
Yeah, I know. I need to.
Oh, all my servers I have, it has that.
I never
and
people
I
say
get that.
SQL.
And when
I always said in school. I always said MySQL.
It's
But I guess
pronounced both ways.
yeah. I had a class where we had to do database stuff.
Blinking, the blinking.
Well, my servers have that. Every time I get to that page, I'm like,
Does it stop?
no, no.